lesson, I am going to show to you how fingerprint taking is being performed. And here are the materials that we are going to need in this activity. Before we start, or let's say before we perform taking the fingerprint of a person, we must first secure that all of the equipment that we will be using in this activity are clean, so that we can be able to avoid unnecessary markings that will be put on the fingerprint card. I hope that you will find this lecture informative. So let's begin our activity. The first process that we are going to do is that we are going to put a fingerprint ink on our glass slab. Okay? And take note, there are rules that we are going to consider in putting an ink or inking our glass slab. The common problem in putting an ink on our glass slab is that sometimes there are many or there's too much fingerprint ink that were being put on the glass slab. Now, in order for us to prevent that there will be too much ink that will be put on the glass slab, here is a technique that I can show to you. In the glass slab, we will insert a piece of paper underneath the glass slab. So there is an opening below the glass slab where we can put a piece of paper. So we will put a piece of paper underneath the glass slab. Okay. So what is the reason why we are putting a piece of paper beneath our glass slab? Very simple. So that when we are going to spread the ink later on, and it is the paper is clear on our view, then the ink is well distributed already. Now, take note, in putting an ink on the glass slab, we are not going to put as many or as too much ink as we can put. We are going to put a small amount only of ink. So let's try putting an ink on our glass slab. So this is a black fingerprint ink. This is very thick. Okay. Now in putting an ink, we are just going to put a small amount of ink on our glass slab, just like this one. Okay. Okay. So as small as that. Okay, so I put 3 small amount of fingerprint ink. Now after putting an ink on the glass slab, the next process that we are going to do is to roll or spread the ink on the glass slab. The equipment that we are going to use is this one. This is called as the ink roller. Okay? So this is the one that is being used in spreading the ink on the glass slab. Now take note, in using the ink roller or in spreading the fingerprint ink on the glass slab, there is a very important rule that we are going to consider. we are going to spread the fingerprint ink, okay, well distributed with the use of the push and lift motion. Okay, remember that. We are going to use the push and lift motion and then push again. And how is that being performed? Very simple. You just push the ink, and lift the ink roller. Then push again the ink and lift the ink roller. Okay? Why is it that we are not going to use the push and pull, the back and forth motion? Because the back and forth motion will not distribute the ink equivalently. It will not distribute, it will not spread the ink on the glass slab equivalently with each other. So we are going to use the push and lift motion. So we just do that. Okay, so that is how we spread the fingerprint ink evenly, okay, or equivalently. Okay, so we are just spreading this until all of the ink are well distributed, equivalently distributed, or evenly distributed on the surface of the glass slab. Remember, we are using the push and lift motion, then push again. We are not using the back and forth or push and pull motion, but rather we are going to push the ink roller and then lift the ink roller and then push again until all of the ink are well distributed. So I guess the ink are already distributed evenly. Okay. So that is how we distribute the ink. The next process that we are going to do after we ink the glass slab is to put the fingerprint card on the fingerprint card holder. So this is how we put this one. So you pull this up and then we insert the fingerprint card, and after inserting it we push back the lever. Our fingerprint card is already intact with the fingerprint card holder. So that's it. We prepared the materials that we are going to use, such as the glass slab. We already inked the glass slab, and we already inserted the fingerprint card on the fingerprint card holder. Now it is time for us to obtain the fingerprint impression of the subject or the person. Now take note, there are two kinds of fingerprints or fingerprint impression that we are going to get or obtain from the subject. The first one is your rolled impression, and the second one is your plain impression. Now, in obtaining the rolled impression, there are rules that we are going to use. Okay? And here are the rules in obtaining the rolled impressions of your fingers. In your thumbs are rolled towards the body of the subject. Okay? So from this one, this is my right thumb, it should be rolled towards the body. The left thumb should be rolled towards the body of the subject. So parang ganito siya. we are going to roll these thumbs just like this. Okay? While your other fingers, they are rolled away from the body. Okay? Such as this. This is your right index and this is your left index. The rolling should be like this one. It is away from the body. So from this one, the rolling is like this. It should be rolled away from the body. Okay? Kanina, in your thumb, it is rolled towards the body. Just like that. While your other fingers, they are rolled away from the body. Away from the body. Okay? So that is how we are going to roll your fingers in your fingerprint slab or glass slab. Before we start taking the fingerprint of the subject, the police officer should first consider if he or she is right-handed or left-handed. If the police officer is a right-handed person, the police officer should place himself on the right side of the subject. If the police officer is a left-handed person, then the police officer will position himself on the left side of the subject. Now, take note, in inking the fingers, the ink should be until this point. Okay? The ink should be until this point. The ink should not only on this part, but rather it should be on the half of the middle phalange. Okay? We are going to ink the fingers until the half of the middle phalange. Now, following the rules in rolling your fingers, so the thumb are rolled towards the body, while your other fingers are rolled away from the body. The first hand that we are going to ink is your right hand. I don't have any assistant here, so I will ink myself. Okay? So we are going to ink until the half of this phalange. Okay? So the thumbs are rolled towards the body just like this. Okay? So as you can see, that is how we wanted. Okay? The ink is until the next phalange, not only on the terminal phalange. Okay? So that is how we roll the thumb. It is towards the body. Now, the other fingers are rolled just like this. They are rolled away from the body. Okay? But remember, the inking should be from this place until that part. Okay? Iko-cover natin entire. Hindi lang yung dyan sa ibabaw, pati sa gilid. Okay? So, we are going to ink the remaining fingers, and this is how we ink the remaining fingers. They are rolled away from the body, just like this one. So from this towards the other side. Okay, so as you can see, okay, the ink from here until that part, and the ink is until the half of the middle phalange. Okay, so we ink the entire right fingers. Okay, so it is away from the body. Okay, just like that. Last finger. Okay, so that is how we ink the fingers. Okay, as you can see, I hope the video is clear. So we ink until the half of the middle phalange, and the ink should be from edge to edge of the fingers. Now we are going to place or we are going now to impress our fingers, our fingerprint on the fingerprint card. So following the same procedure, okay, the thumb are rolled towards the body while the other fingers are rolled away from the body. Now, on the first part, we are obtaining the rolled impressions. Okay? Bakit rolled? Kasi nga ni-roll natin eh, di ba? Ni-roll kasi natin. So, following the same procedure, the thumb should be rolled. This is the position of the thumb and the remaining fingers. The thumb should be rolled towards the body. Okay? So, as you can see, that is the illustration, okay, on how we roll our fingers on the fingerprint card, obtaining rolled impressions. Okay. Now the remaining fingers shall be rolled just like the same that we roll them on the glass slab. So it is away from the body, just like this. Okay, away from the body. Okay, away from the body. Okay. Okay. Okay, so these are the fingerprint impression of my right hand. Rolled impressions. Okay. After rolling and inking and printing your right fingers, then we will proceed to the left finger. Left hand, the fingers of your left hand are also rolled just like the right hand. So the thumb should be towards the body and the other fingers away from the body. Now, as you can see, we already use half of the ink on the glass slab. Wag muna nating i-roll ito. Wag muna nating i-roll ulit. Bakit? Kasi meron pa tayong ink dito sa kabila. Okay, so i-fold lang natin yan. Okay? Then, yung half, yun ang gagamitin natin para sa ating left fingers. Okay? And we already inked or we already printed our right rolled impressions. Then, we will adjust the fingerprint card. So, i-adjust lang natin siya. Okay, buksan mo lang yan. And then, pull the card. And then, ayun. So, nakasalpak na yung para sa left fingers. First, we are going to roll the thumb followed by your other fingers. So the thumb is, again, your left thumb is rolled towards the body. Okay? So as you can see, from edge to edge. The other fingers should be rolled away from the body, just like this. So this is my left index. So you roll it away from the body. Okay, so as you can see, from edge to edge until the half of the middle phalange was inked. So same procedure for the remaining fingers. It should be rolled away from the body. Same, away from the body. And the last finger, your little finger, it should be rolled away from the body. So yun, na-ink na natin yung ating left fingers. The next thing to do is to impress the rolled impression on the fingerprint card on the designated column for your left fingers. So following the same procedure, your left thumb should be rolled towards the body. Okay, towards the body. Just like this one. Okay, So from edge to edge, dapat ma-roll siya. Okay? So following the same procedure on the other fingers, they are rolled away from the body. So just like this. Okay, rolled away from the body. Okay? So these fingers are rolled away from the body. Okay? Same procedure on your next fingers. Okay? And then there you are. So these are the rolled impressions. So these are the rolled impressions. So that is how we get your rolled impressions. The next thing that we will get are your plain impressions. Okay, very simple lang ang plain impression. Before we get our plain impression, nagamit na kasi natin yung glass slab natin, i-roll lang natin ulit. Okay? Bakit hindi tayo magdadagdag ng another fingerprint ink? Kasi makapal pa ito. Marami pa yung ink na nandito sa ating glass slab. So we follow the same procedure in rolling the ink. So we will use the push and lift motion. Push and lift, push and lift until the ink are evenly, equitably, equivalently spread. There you are. Now, the plain impressions are placed on this part of the fingerprint card, just below the rolled impression of your left hand. Okay. Kaya tinawag na plain impression kasi hindi na kailangang i-roll yung ating fingers. So plain impression is obtained just like this. So unahin na muna natin yung right hand natin. The thumb is impressed just like that. Okay, do not roll the thumb, just impress it. And then the other fingers shall be pressed just like this. Okay? As you can see, nakuha lahat. Okay? And then, ilalagay natin sila dito sa pinakababa. May nakasulat dyan, right thumb and right four fingers taken simultaneously. So, ganito lang ang pag-print. Okay? Yon. And then, your other fingers, you impress them just like this. There you are. Okay, so nakuha na natin yung plain impression ng ating right hand. Susunod naman is your left hand. I-roll lang natin ulit. Kasi nga nagamit ulit natin. Huwag kayong mag-alala, marami pang ink ito. Okay, so i-print lang natin yung ating thumb. Okay, and then we impress your remaining fingers plainly just like this. Okay? And then we proceed in printing it on the fingerprint card. So this is the location of the left thumb. Press mo lang siyang ganyan. There you are. And then your left fingers impress just like that. There you are. So these are the fingerprint impressions that is being located in a fingerprint card. We have the rolled impressions and we have the plain impressions. Ang purpose ng plain impression is to verify kung tama yung mga pinaglagyan natin nung ating rolled impression. Kung tama yung mga daliri na pinaglagyan natin ng ating mga rolled impression. Yun ang purpose ng plain impression. Okay? So for example, nagdududa ka kung yung print ng right thumb, ito nga. So tignan mo siya doon sa plain impression. Kung match sila dyan, hindi ka nagkamali. Baka kasi mamaya yung nailagay mo pala dito sa right thumb is yung pattern ng right little finger. Okay? So, saan mo sila i-verify? You verify them on the plane impression. Now, the purpose of the rolled impressions, okay, why we are performing rolled impression is that in order for us to conduct ridge tracing, ridge counting, and pattern determination. Kasi kung hindi natin i-roll yung fingerprint natin, hindi tayo makakapag-ridge count ng maayos. Hindi tayo makakapag-ridge trace ng maayos. So those are the fingerprint impressions located on your fingerprint card. That is how fingerprint taking is being performed. So I hope this lecture is very informative to everyone, and I hope you learned something on how to obtain fingerprint impressions such as your rolled impression and your plane impression, and on how we are going to ink the fingers, and on how we are going to print your fingerprint impressions on the fingerprint card. So thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you again next time. See you everyone.